No, I think it was a lot of the stuff that we talked about, some controllable things that we need to clean up. Some of the same things that we've talked about after the wins, that we've talked about in film that we feel like, hey, we gotta fix this or it's gonna hurt us, and some of that showed up for us on Saturday.
Since Tomislav was just in here, he's a guy that right now is leading the Mountain West in offensive rebound rate on a team that overall is last in offensive rebound rate. Is there anything schematic to that where you guys are just having him attack offensive glass and everyone else is sort of getting out or getting back a little bit, or is it just because he's a really good rebounder?
Oh, it's just he's a really good rebounder.
Okay. The second half thing is something I have asked you about, and I did ask Saturday. The numbers are, I get the sample size is still small, but it is all we have. Now through 4 games, the highest scoring halves or the top 4 highest scoring halves have all been your 4 second halves. And the shooting percentages are way up. All their offensive numbers are way up in the second half. I'm curious if you've pinpointed whether that's just them adjusting, whether it's you guys backing off in any way, or if there's something you can kind of pinpoint to the second half defensive decline.
Yeah, I don't have a specific cause there. I think that's something we're continuing to evaluate.
So I got a question. I love the fact that you played Albury and Uriah together at the end of the game. Is that a matchup? I know depending on sizes in the backcourt, is that a matchup that you see that's kind of happening down the road a little bit more?
Yeah, we definitely think those guys can play together. Specifically against aggressive defenses, they give us a little more juice off the bounce. We've had those guys play together some in the early stages, and then both kind of had injuries and missed a lot of practice time. So they didn't play as much together in the last game until late when we, kind of went to that. But we definitely think those are 2 guys that can play together. Dayton does a good job of kind of playing a little bigger than he is with the way he rebounds the ball. So we feel like that allows us to play them together a little bit.
Thank you.
Coach, wanted to ask you about Luke Hopt and Chris Howell coming into the New Mexico State game. Combined, they had shot 2 3-point field goals together against New Mexico State. Chris goes 0 for 5 from 3. I understand their blue guys do a lot for your team that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, some stuff that does show up on the stat sheet. But, late in games, are they going to have to be able to be a threat from the 3-point line, and can they knock down that shot?
Yeah, they're both capable. I think of Chris's 5, a few were kind of like late heaves at the end, so that volume's a little misleading in terms of that. But I thought they both had chances and maybe decided to drive, especially late in clock. Like we generated some pretty good. They probably passed up some shots, and we got to find the balance of their aggression there. Both those guys have had, they played a lot of college basketball and have both had efficient 3-point shooting seasons in the past. Not on high volume, but that's not kind of their style. So we're confident they both put in the work. Like we just got to make sure that we're finding the rhythm offensively to where shots come in the flow, and when they do, those guys got to be ready to knock them down.
And then defensively, you guys are going to give up the 3-point shot to a certain extent, but sometimes that means long rebounds, and Dayton Albury fouls out, on 2 offensive rebounds that New Mexico State got. At some point, is it, guys just got to get a body on somebody and block out, or is there something you can do schematically to limit that?
Yeah, we got to rebound better. I mean, that's not a secret and something that we talk about and we'll continue to work on.
Looking forward to the Hall of Fame Classic. What are you looking from the team as far as growth going into that and through that experience?
Yeah, we got a film session coming right now. I mean, our approach after all the games, regardless of result, is to kind of look at the things that we did well and try to build on those things, and look at the things that we didn't do well and try to improve them. So that's our process every time, and so we'll take that same approach, and hopefully we'll play a little better basketball next time out.
And what kind of what are you expecting from Nebraska that you got to get through or get over?
Yeah, Nebraska is a really talented team, specifically offensively, shooting at a lot of positions. So they pose a ton of challenges for us, both personnel and schematically. And so we got to have a great week of preparation, and we'll have to execute really well on that, specifically the defensive side of the ball.
Again, kind of a sample size question is it's probably not fair to ask these just yet, but looking at on-off numbers, Uriah Tenet's actually your guys' best player in 3 games, because I know he missed one. Defensively right now, your guys' defensive rating's best when he's on the floor. Is that surprising at all to you that the smallest guy on the floor, your team defense actually has its best defensive rating?
Well, Uriah's a good player, and we think he impacts the game on both sides. I do think it's a little early especially with a lot of the rotations and things that we're doing to take too much away from those kind of things at this stage. But we think Uriah is a good player on both sides of the ball, and I think he understands how he has to play to impact it defensively.
And so specifically, Uriah knows what he has to do to sort of adjust for his size and defensively. Do you, when he's on the floor, do something different defensively with the other four guys, knowing that there's a mouse in the house kind of deal?
We have some different things that we do. Uriah has a couple different rules than maybe some other guys, but that also, it's not universal across Uriah regardless of lineup. So who else is out there impacts kind of some of those things.
Okay, and again, with the caveat that it is early to be looking into this, but Tajavis was the guy at the opposite end and worst defensive rating when he's on the floor. I don't know his defensive history before this when he was Sixth Man of the Year last year in the Summit League. But are you surprised that defensively the unit hasn't really been clicking when he's on the floor?
Again, I think that's small sample size. I don't know that we're at a stage where one person's impact is really to that degree. I think you can maybe compare some guys if they're in similar lineups and things like that. But again, it's especially with the amount we're rotating, the specific lineup numbers are really, really low just in terms of reps. And so it's hard to really, we're always looking at that. I'm paying attention to those things, but I think we're still at a stage where it's hard to put too much weight into them.
Okay, and then offensively, it is something that I don't think you guys have had the most efficient game yet that you would hope for. I'm curious how far away from. I know you'll take it any game, but how close are you guys to being where you'd want to be for a full game offensively right now?
Where we want to be, I think we're pretty far away. The Riverside game, I think we were 1-2 points per possession, which is plenty good enough. I don't think we've been above 1.1 in any of the others. So, and we felt like, Riverside being the third one, you could kind of felt like we were making some progress. I think there were some things that we had success with in the Riverside game that were a little bit specific to that defense that we maybe tried to carry over into New Mexico State versus a different style defense, and we had a couple issues there. So I think that's an evolution too of kind of us understanding what the defense is doing, what those solutions are, and then trying to apply them differently each time out and not just kind of think we've got this solved, we just have, right? Because it's never just one answer. So I think it's a continual evolution for us offensively, and we'd love to be further along, but unfortunately we're kind of at the early stage of that evolution right now.
Coach, how do you guys approach this week? Obviously, 2 games back-to-back, first time this season. Do you focus exclusively on Nebraska and then kind of take it from there, or how does it look?
Yeah, we exclusive focus on Nebraska. Obviously we'll have assistant coaches who are doing preparation on the other opponents, but relative to my focus, our team's focus, it's Nebraska, and then we'll deal with the quick turnaround once that game ends.
You talked a little bit about Nebraska. They're a team that shoots a lot of threes, probably compared to some of the other teams that you've played. They've got a couple guys that have some size that probably stand for that can really let it go. Does the defensive game plan change at all, or is it just kind of just see what you get?
We'll always try to adjust for opponents and try to find ways to make them uncomfortable and identify some advantages. Right, we feel like every time out on both sides of the ball, every team we play, there are going to be advantages we have and disadvantages, and both sides of the ball, our approach is to try to amplify our advantages, mitigate our disadvantages. So we'll take that same approach. Nebraska is a great challenge for us, especially on the defensive end with all the weapons that they have and the spacing they play with, the passing, the way they screen off the ball. They have great recognition of what defense is doing, switching, staying off the ball, and how they screen. So, it'll be a tough test for us, but I think our guys are going to be looking forward to that type of challenge.
Obviously, with me being a big man, I got to ask this question. Buljan, he's been playing great. He's been averaging a double-double the last couple games. How are there opportunities for him to get involved more in the paint to create opportunities for maybe if he gets going, he can open up some more spacing for you guys on the perimeter, be able to have some good shots at threes.
Yeah, I think just into drive decision making, making sure we identify when we have advantages there. I think we've had some screen roll opportunities where we've missed him a little bit. I think so. Some of that is just varied coverage game to game that we got to like sort through different solutions. I think we can do some things to give it. He's a pretty good player in space, facing the basket. Drives with a lot of force. So trying to help him find places where he can be aggressive, get him into those spots. Again, that's not unique to him. I think there's things we can do for a lot of our guys to help them play better on offense, and we're doing time to go.
What's college been like so far?
It's been fun. It's way different than in Europe. It's like basketball-wise, it's faster and it's more physical, I would say. And so far, like I'm adjusting pretty good, I would say. Still some things like are weird for me because I used to play in quarters. Right now it's half times and some other things too. But like I think if you play more games, it's gonna be even better.
Since you brought it up, it's a real small point, but like, do you prefer quarters or do you prefer halves?
It's hard to say right now because, like I said, I'm getting like used to it. It is different. Maybe I would say quarters for right now, but like it's not a like major issue. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I mean every level plays quarters except men's college basketball for some reason. I am curious. So far, you've been you're leading the league in offensive rebounding on a team that actually is last in the league in offensive rebound rate. So you're really the one guy hitting it. Is it something schematically that coach has that you're getting offensive rebounds and really the rest of the team isn't, or is it just because you're a good rebounder?
It's just because, like also like last year where I was playing, I was the one who brought up energy and who's the guy who crashes the rebounds. It's just like effort that I put in. I would say it's not like something that we practice that much or I don't know what, but like I do it because I need that team needs me to do that to like be successful. That's why I do that job because I'm good at it.
And then the last one, Saturday night was your guys' first real road test. I know Washington State was on the road, but there were 600 people there. It was an exhibition game. But Saturday night at New Mexico State, the environment was student section right on top of you guys, getting after you guys. You guys did come up short down the stretch. What was the difference in that game, and was the environment a factor in any way?
I mean, it's a bitter taste because I know how much it means to Lobo fans that game. And it's tough because we lost at the end. They were a little bit. They executed better than us. We didn't keep up with on the glass with them at the end, and we didn't make shots, and they did. And like it was a close game. For me, it was great atmosphere because that's why we play basketball, to play those games, and it was tough. Before they were undefeated, and that's basketball. Sometimes you lose. We need to learn from it and move on because we cannot stick to the past. We have 2 important games to play this week, and we're gonna focus on that. But like I said, it is a disappointment to lose against that team, but sometimes it is like that.
Tomislav, how have you found your niche in this offense? Unlike guys like Chris Howell and Dayton who have the ball in their hands a lot, you kind of got to rely on offensive rebounds and finding ways to create your own shots. Just how have you found your niche?
I try just to play hard, like simple things that keep me like to get to the basket or like just do a simple pick and roll and just be alert every time I get the ball. I make good decisions and both guys are great because they pass the ball really well and I love to play with them because they're a little bit older, they're not freshmen and they know how to like really get me the ball. And yeah, that's basically it.
Tell me about the physicality of that New Mexico State game, particularly in the second half. It looked like you took some shots, may have gotten fouled, didn't get the calls, but just how physical was that game?
Especially second half, it was really physical because they didn't let any easy buckets. I'm not gonna complain about the refs because I'm doing the things that I can control and the things I can't control. It's not something anything I can do about it. But they were tough. They really wanted win the game. They didn't let anything like easy for us to do, and yeah, it was pretty physical.
Uriah's a guy I wanted to ask about. When he gets on the floor, he obviously plays really aggressive. So does Dayton. Both of the smaller guards play really aggressive. But Uriah specifically, as a traditional freshman who's just coming out of high school, I think 4 years or 3 or 4 years younger than you are as a freshman. Are you ever surprised, or are you beyond that at this point when he's coming on there at 5'10" and doing the things he's doing?
Yeah, he has a lot of talent, and he works also hard for it every day. And yeah, I didn't expect like that he's gonna do so well, especially because of transition. I thought it's gonna take him a little bit more time, but like that helps me also when he plays aggressive. They need to help more, so I can be also open more often. And I like the way he plays because he's playing like really hard every time he's on the court, and I like his game because it helps the whole team the way he plays.
You guys are a team that a lot of people are still kind of waiting to see the offense come around, like kind of click and gel together. I'm curious how close to gelling you think this offense is from what you've seen, in the preseason and all that, to what you've seen in the regular season games, which is what fans have seen. How much farther along, or how close are you guys to being where you want to be offensively?
I think we didn't quite show our arsenal, what we have, what we are capable of, because during the summer, I think we were playing really, really well on offense, and then like defense was struggling a little bit. That's why the last couple of weeks, coaches were like more strict about defense, because we were struggling more than offense. So we quite did more defense than offense. That's why I think like each game it's gonna get better because we are the whole group is new. Nobody played with anybody together, and it's gonna take some time, like to feel like each other, to know like the strengths in the games on the court, because it's different like practice to play against each other and to play against different teams which play different defensive concepts, and it's just like it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take some games to like get used to opponents, different environments, because it's not also it's different to play home and away. It's way tougher because nobody's gonna give you something, so you have to earn everything, and it's just gonna come through the way.
And then I want to ask you just real quick about your versatility. On the defensive side, your versatility, I've seen you switching, and I've seen you guarding the opposing point guard at times and staying out there with them at times. Is that something that you guys are you comfortable with? Like, are guarding 1 through 5, or was it maybe more of a, wing player through 5 that you'd be comfortable with?
To be honest, like here, the point guards are really fast, and like for me, I love the concept of switching, and I always like that. But it's more tough to like guard the point guards than the wings because they are like more explosive. But that's what we also work in practice to guard Uriah, a guy who's really small and fast. That also helps me, and I feel pretty comfortable with it. I wouldn't say I struggle with it. And about my versatility, I just think that like my shot didn't show up right now because I injured my thumb like 3-4 weeks ago, and since then like I just need the flow, and I think it's just gonna come by time, and I need to work on it every day, what I do, and that's why I think our team is good because we have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things that also didn't show up right now, but I'm confident that it's going to show up in the future.
So you kind of touched on it right there, but the versatility on the offense is what I was going to ask next. Are you going to hit a 3 this year? I know you put a few up.
Yeah, not yet. I'm struggling a little bit, but like I said, I'm going to work on it and continue to practice it, so it's going to show up.
Is that means the thumb?
Yeah, it's the right time, yeah.
Last one, what's that?
Tomislav, coming from the Croatian league, how different is college basketball in terms of the pace, the physicality? How different is it?
It's a lot different. There you play against like guys who sometimes also, some of them also work, and like they're old, 30 years old, so they cannot keep up with the pace. And here, everybody plays physical, everybody plays hard, especially on defense. It's way different. Nobody's gonna let you just try or like be open all the time. They collapse the paint pretty well. They're like hard in the gaps, which when it's not easy to penetrate either. And it's just gonna help me in my career also, because I learned how to play on a different level and like different style of basketball.